Now let that be a lesson to the lot of you. No chicken escapes from Tweedy's farm.
Yes, Chicken Run. A DreamWorks movie that came out in 2000 that apparently gained a bigger following than I ever realized. The movie is about a group of chickens who try to escape from a chicken farm before they're all turned into pies. And when all of their escape plans fail, they meet a cocky rooster named Rocky who says he can teach them how to fly over the fence to freedom. Now, I'm going to start this review by saying I do not, nor will I ever like Chicken Run. But, I guess I can see the appeal, at least to the younger crowds. But the movie is just plain boring. The dialogue is poor, the jokes are unfunny, and the characters just sort of come off as really bland and have no real emotional draw to them. I'd say the shifty salespeople mice and the Air Force rooster are the only ones who don't come off as very just one-sided. But even then, they aren't the greatest characters, and I've seen characters like that before, so I shouldn't really have a problem with them, but I do. It doesn't help that the movie is like 50% dialogue, and half of the time you're just sitting there listening to these chickens talk for a good 10 minutes before anything really happens. And in a kid's movie, that can really be draining, especially when it's written as badly as this one. The boring jokes don't help either. I maybe laughed once while watching this whole movie, and I can't really help it when half of the jokes are slapstick and the other half is just really dry humor with a few awkward pauses thrown in there. And when I say a lot of it is slapstick, I mean a lot of it is slapstick. It's mostly just these chickens getting hurt. And I guess to kids that would make them laugh, but to me I was bored of seeing it. Now, to DreamWorks' credit, the animation was pretty good. I've always been a fan of stop motion, and this came out at a time that stop motion was really prevalent in movies. But I wish more could have been done with it. Like, take us to better places, let us see better things. We have nothing but these dull gray and brown colors, and it's just boring to look at. Maybe the movie should have been about the chickens on the run from the crazy farm lady instead of an escape story. Then we could have seen more places and had a better experience, and even have gotten some more character development. But I'll give the movie credit, because if there's one thing it did right, it was the villain. This lady is batshit insane, and in the last act of the movie, it really shows. I won't spoil too much, but she's the kind of villain you just love to see angry, because you never know what she's gonna do. And she isn't in the movie much, and I think they didn't utilize her as much as they could have. Instead, they focused mainly on her bumbling sidekick, which he's fine, but he's not her. She could have been used so much better, and I'm still kind of upset they didn't use her as much as they really should have. I don't know, I feel on the whole this movie just didn't hit any major areas of interest for me. I feel like this whole movie was created because someone in DreamWorks used a flew the coop phrase at some point, and people just went with it. Now, would the movie be better to show younger crowds? Maybe. With all the action-packed movies kids are getting nowadays, I think a movie like this would just put them to sleep. But if you wanted to introduce kids to stop motion, I think this should be on the list. It is a really good stop motion picture, and some of the stuff they do in it is clever. So, as a stop motion movie, this probably wouldn't be my least favorite, but it's certainly not my favorite kids movie. Overall, Chicken Run is a real pass for me. There's nothing to merit a second viewing, and in my case, it just falls short on everything. The jokes weren't good, the writing was poor, and the sets and look of the characters could have been improved upon. Overall, I'd give it 1 creepy chicken neck scrotum out of 5.
Right. Carry on.